The NFL will reportedly fine unvaccinated players nearly $15,000 for each violation of the league's COVID protocols. Let's go to our sports expert, Dagan. Just kidding. I mean, you're our sports expert, but you want to talk about the NFL.
Well, I do, because they're leading the charge and a lot of the controversy, the same controversy you would have if you mandated, I need proof that we have vaccinations. We don't really have that, but if you're not vaccinated, we're taking your word, you're supposed to wear a mask. The NFL is so... there's so much money on the line. They came out and said, if you're not vaccinated, you basically have to wear a mask and have all these other protocols. And if your team actually has to forfeit a game, we're not moving the game. You guys lost. So people like Leonard Fournette, who's now standing running back they're now the Tampa Bay Bucks, came out and goes, I'm not doing it. And you have other players that have said, I'm just not going to get vaccinated. So instead of mandating and yelling at them, you should do what Chris Christie mentioned on Sunday that Focus Group reveals. They don't want to hear from politicians. They don't want to hear from coaches. They want to hear from experts. So Ron Rivera of the Washington Redskins got a doctor in. And he put the doctor in front of his team and he said, ask any questions you want. Go over the technology, the health. Because it's not because people aren't educated. They're not educated in what this vaccine is. And the emergency use has people freaked out to a degree. So by putting people down or having politicians yell into a microphone or anchors or hosts, I think is a problem. And that you're not convincing anyone. If you put a mask on the American people that got vaccinated, you will not get any more people vaccinated. One of the main reasons people did it is because they want to get back to their life. You start taking their life away again, goodbye.
Wow, this is a rarity. I agree with Brian Kilmeade. Well, Jesus, take the wheel.
All right, Jesus, take the wheel. Okay, what else do you want to say?
No, I mean, I actually agree with that. I think that part of the problem here, because I agree, I think you need to go have a conversation with your medical professional, whether that's a doctor, a nurse in your family, or a nurse in your community. Ask them all the questions you need to ask them about the vaccine. And if you can, you should go get the vaccine. If your health allows you, if you're not immunocompromised, go talk to that person and make that choice and go get it. Because here's the truth. The only way we're going to stop the Delta variant from spreading in many of these communities that are now seeing a high spread of it, which is where a lot of these mask mandates are going back in place, is by more and more folks getting vaccinated. And that's where these deaths are happening. And so I agree with you. 100%.
Right. And okay, just add this real quick.
Don't ruin it.
I have a good friend that has a 17 and 19-year-old. They both got the shots. The 19-year-old has no problem. The 17-year-old's got swelling of the heart. He can't even take a deep breath for 2 weeks. It hurt every time his heart beat. He's 100% healthy, an elite athlete. The dad feels terrible. So how could I sit here with a microphone and say, go get vaccinated? What if you listen to me and I'm responsible for the swelling of that kid's heart? I don't want that responsibility because I am not qualified to give you medical advice. I am willing to admit that.
I wonder what the White House...
I'm not. I am an expert.
Okay, take it away, Greg.
And you make my heart swell.
Thank you very much, but that's for another time.
Yes.
And another show.
You make his head swell.
I agree with, what's your name again, Brian? I have my theory, I call it Greg's chain yanking theory. So when we've been burned so many times by people in the media who lied to us about crime, who've been lying to us for decades on climate, and ginning up a racial war, why the hell should we listen to them? That's why you shouldn't listen to us. You shouldn't listen to anybody. On top of that, you have a government in bed with these people pushing all sorts of phony narratives, whether it's the insurrection or the Fine People hoax or the big lie or injecting bleach. Don't listen to them. Why should you listen to them? The American public has had their chain yanked so often, the chain is broken. So now what they're doing, and to your point, they start yelling at you and lecturing you and hectoring you and judging you as if that's going to help, when in reality, most of the morons from cable news and from network news, they like feeling superior. This is what it's about. They love telling people in rural America, you suck. People are going to do the right thing. They're going to get the vaccine. People are getting the vaccine. We're I don't know where we are
over the weekend.
Yeah, and we hope that's the case. I'm obviously very pro-vaccine. I have been for a while. So I just think we need to stop pitting people against each other.
Yep.
We have to stop worrying about who's vaccinated and who's not. Just if you talk about it with friends, you give them your advice and you say, I'm no expert. You do what you think is right. It's true. It's like if people are having side effects, you don't want to be the person responsible for that either.
I'm not. Yeah, 30% of healthcare workers have not gotten vaccinated. That flipped me out.
Well, the same thing with the smallpox vaccine. Back in early 2000s, they wanted to vaccinate 500,000 people. They got 40,000. Those were healthcare professionals, the people who know.
Well, the other thing is, Dagan, just from I guess, politically or even from a business perspective, masks and mandates are not going to get you out of the phase 4 of the virus.
No, and all that these mask mandates do is punish the people who got the shot. And then it basically says we don't trust unvaccinated people to mask up. So if you got the jab, then you need to start wearing a mask. May I use a sports analogy? Sports analogy.
Greg,
sports analogies. May I use one?
I'll defer to the sports guy.
Yes.
And you can tell me if this is not a good one. But this is like the coach who makes the whole team run 3 miles when 2 players show up late, when they're tardy. So what it does is you're trying to create anger among most of the team who did the right, they were on time, but they want to make the team then put pressure on the minority to fall in line. It's extremely divisive and extremely dangerous.